What's up guys, Kaiju here again with another video, and in this video we'll be talking about the LGG Mercury. A Hien clone. Never been done before. I'm joking. But yeah, it's like there's been so many Hien clones, like it's its own genre already. Like Bordsey made it's his own like Hien clone tier list. So yeah, let's get to it. So this pad is 490 by 410 millimeters, 4 millimeters thick. It's the same length as the Artisan Hien, but it's shorter by 1 centimeter or like 10 millimeters. Not that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't know if you're actually going to use that unless like you use a really low sense. But yeah, time to talk about the quality of this pad, the physicalities of this pad. So out of the box, it laid down flat right away. I got no issues with it compared to my Saturn. Like no folds, no wavy folds on the stitching edges, no what do you call this? I guess like no out of the box fraying. The Actually, this has the best stitching among the three. Like I got the Saturn, the Venus, and this one, and this kind of has the best stitching for some reason. Like it has the narrowest and the lowest. It's almost lower than the surface, but some parts are flush, some parts are lower, but it's definitely narrower, like thinner compared to the other pads. So yeah, in terms of stitching, this kind of has the best stitching among them. Rubber backing is just the same, your standard OEM rubber backing. Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good. Like it doesn't really move that much unless you actually move it like this. Whether I use like high sense, low sense, medium sense, play Apex, play Valorant, play Aimlab, play Kovacs, it doesn't really move. I don't notice it like moving around like that. It only really moves if I'm like moving it with my hand, if I'm going like that. So yeah, good stitching, good rubber backing. And then the surface is your standard hybrid surface. This is a hybrid speed type of mouse pad. Yep, it's a Hien clone, okay. um Actually, like I'm just gonna say like my sentiments here are the same as Crafty Craft's statements or sentiments. So yeah, if you watch this video, I'm probably just going to be saying the same things as him. So oh yeah, the surface isn't as compared to the Hien, it doesn't feel as rough. It's definitely a rough pad, abrasive pad. Like it's not smooth by any means, but it's smoother than the Hien. It's not rougher. It's not as rough. What else? Oh, and this thing never really bothered me. Like I don't remember ever going to this part of the mouse pad. It is just painted on, but it hasn't really come off yet. And there's no stitching. There's no fraying, etc. The surface feels really premium, and like what I said with the Venus and the Saturn, this is probably the most premium pad you can buy at this price point. Definitely feels way more premium than the Odin Infinity, and it's better to support LGG than Odin Infinity. Like I don't know, man. Like just search Reddit on that or ask Mouse Review. Anyways, okay. So for the function of this pad, it's no doubt, without a doubt, it's a Hien clone. It is what it is, a Hien clone. But the thing is, compared to the Hien, this is definitely slower. It is noticeably slower, especially on a like 75-gram mouse with big feet. It's definitely slower. It feels firmer than the Hien, like touching it, but the Hien feels like it has more stopping power, weirdly enough. But overall friction, this feels like it has more friction. It has more static friction, micro. I can feel the more locked in feeling when micro adjusting. That kind of heaviness to it, heaviness compared to the Hien. The Hien is just really floaty when micro adjusting like that. Um, Even with a lighter mouse, I can tell the difference between this and the Hien. Like I don't even need a side by side comparison. I can really just tell. And then the overall dynamic friction is also slower than the Hien, but then this thing is still, yeah, it's still a good pad for tracking overall. I'd say I'd honestly say this is a safer buy than the Hien. It, like if yeah, it's a safer buy than the Hien. Some people may some actually a lot of people find the Hien to be too abrasive. I didn't. It's just I was like surprised. Like, why are people complaining about this? It's not that bad. But I've had Condura pads that felt worse. But yeah, this is definitely smooth. Feels kind of like less abrasive than the Hien. So yeah, really, yeah, low static friction, low dynamic friction is a freely flowing feeling pad. This I think this is good and optimal for tracking without going out of control. So I think they definitely did fix the problems of the Hien, but yeah, that didn't come without sacrifices, and I'll get to that in a bit. Um, if you don't know which Hien clone to buy, I really just suggest this because it's the best quality Hien clone at the price point. Um, I think it's also the biggest. It has the best stitching also, and then Lethal Gaming is just a company that I want to support. It's like they're a company that focuses on producing good quality equipment rather than profit. And I'm not saying other companies, are like focus only on profit. But I don't know. With Lethal, I just feel like they're actually like focusing on making a good product rather than earning a quick buck. So if this was like priced at $35 like base, I still think it's pretty good. If I didn't uh test this side by side by the Hien, or I didn't get to try a Hien before I got this pad, I'd be pretty happy with it, honestly, like for tracking. But yeah, I mean, if I could afford the Hien, I'll just probably go with the Hien, after being able to test them side by side. But if you can't afford the Hien, this I don't think it's a loss for you to get this, especially if you're kind of new to the hobby, like you're buying your first fast pad. Definitely, this is a good one. Okay, so my general ramblings for this and the Hien is that this is really just because I mentioned a while ago I was watching like Crafty Craft's video on this, and he described it as a watered down Hien, and I was like, huh? And then when I got the pad, and yeah, by a son of a gun, it's an accurate description. It feels like a watered down Hien. It feels like a boring Hien. Like they fixed the abrasiveness problem, they fixed the speed problem and whatnot, but what happened was a boring pad. I'm sorry. I just find this pad to be boring. And I don't know whether it's just because, I really prefer the Hien, or I'm just really getting sick of Hien clones. But uh yeah, it lost its Hienness, right? The Hien is one of the goat pads, and it's really fun to use the Hien. May not be my most optimal pad, but it was I really enjoy my time on it, that I want to buy one, right? I just borrowed one, but yeah. And yeah, I kind of want to buy one, and I probably will keep this pad. Like initially, I was like, "Oh man, I just gonna want to put it on my desk, like look at it, or like maybe like I'm having a hard time differentiating between this and the Venus, which one I prefer more, and blah blah blah." And after a while, maybe a few days, I'm just like, "Nah, I don't want to play on this pad. I prefer playing on the Hien and the Venus, because at least the Venus is fun to play on." This one, while it's okay, while I think this is better for tracking than the Venus is, it's just boring. Like maybe if, yeah, honestly, even if I'm not gonna buy a Hien, I'm probably still not going to play on this pad that much. I'm still really probably gonna play with the Venus. And yeah, but like the Hien is like the what do you call this? The Hien is it's a cool, fun, adventurous, exotic pad. Like it's like the Tyler Durden of mouse pads, right? It created its space monkeys, the Hien clones. Man, I can't believe I'm using a Fight Club reference. Anyways, it's like the Tyler Durden of mouse pads, and this one feels like Edward Norton. Like you have the Hien, the cool guy, the aggressive guy, the charismatic guy, and everything, and then you got the kind of like kind of the same but more boring version, more like tamed, duller version. So yeah, uh this is a safe. This is though a safer buy. If like so, I don't know. It's just I try to force myself to play on this. Like that's the feeling. Like whenever I try to play this pad, I'm forcing myself to play on it, and it's just man, it wasn't enjoyable. Even though I was playing all right with it, sometimes even better than my other pads, but I just wasn't having a good time using it. I don't know. It's probably a mental thing. But yeah, it's a watered down, boring Hien. Again, I don't mean to like diss or crap on this pad. It's a good, great, high quality pad that I think people will enjoy, especially for those that can't afford the Hien or want to try out the more speedier pads but don't want to risk being out of control, or you're playing Apex but you're used to playing on a slower cloth pad but you want you know to speed it up. So I think this is something that you can play on or buy. So yeah, uh, I'm just yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's a good pad, but it's not for me. It's a good pad, but I find it boring to play with. It's a good pad, but I don't enjoy playing on it. I would much rather play on a different pad. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments, just comment down below. Like, comment, sub. Thanks for all the support. And I'm thinking of making a comparison video of the three LGG pads that I have: the Saturn, the Venus, and the Mercury. So stay tuned for that. Like, comment, sub. Peace out. Peace.